Have you ever thought a single penny could be worth a small fortune? Imagine digging through your loose change and stumbling upon a seemingly ordinary coin, 1 cent, dated 1984, stamped with a tiny D beneath the year, and realizing it could be worth $63,527. Yes, you heard that right. A 1984 D USA 1 cent coin, minted in Denver, has shocked collectors and numismatists alike by reaching an astronomical face value due to its historical context, rare mint errors, unique production variations, and the growing frenzy in the collector's market. Welcome back to our channel where we uncover the fascinating world of coins that have become treasure troves hidden in plain sight, and today's story is no exception as we dive deep into what makes the 1984 D penny one of the most coveted coins in U.S. history. At first glance, it may seem like a regular Lincoln cent, composed of 97.5% zinc with a thin copper plating, part of the post-1982 shift away from copper to cut production costs, but beneath this simple appearance lies a world of intriguing flaws and errors that have driven collectors wild. The primary driver of this coin's jaw-dropping valuation is the rare double-die reverse error, an anomaly where the dies used to strike the coin were improperly aligned, resulting in a faint but visible doubling on the reverse side, particularly in the words "e pluribus unum," and occasionally in United States of America. But that's just the beginning. There are also examples with off-center strikes, broad strikes, clipped planchets, and rare transitional errors where planchets meant for earlier copper compositions were mistakenly used in a few coins during the switch to zinc, giving some 1984 D pennies a heavier weight closer to 3.1 grams instead of the expected 2.5 grams. These transitional errors are exceptionally rare and are identified through precise weight measurements and metallurgical analysis. The discovery of such a coin sets off a frenzy in collector circles, often resulting in record-breaking auction sales. One such 1984 D penny with a well-defined double-die error and clear off-center strike fetched over $60,000 at auction, drawing massive attention from media and private collectors. But what pushes these coins beyond their metal and error value is the sheer story they tell, a story of change in the U.S. Mint, of human mistakes at highly mechanized facilities, and of hidden value where none was expected. The Denver Mint, responsible for producing billions of coins every year, is known for its precision, but the 1984 D penny is a reminder that even small oversights can result in monumental value decades later. Coin grading services like PCGS and NGC have played a critical role in authenticating and documenting these rare specimens, further fueling their market appeal. High-grade versions, those graded MS66 or higher, are incredibly hard to find and command premium prices even without notable errors, simply due to their preserved luster, sharp details, and eye appeal. Combine high grade with a visible mint error, and you're looking at the holy grail of Lincoln cents. Collectors often speak of the perfect storm that makes a coin explode in value: limited survival numbers, strong demand, an identifiable and dramatic error, and market timing. The 1984 D penny hits all of these markers. Its story has been featured in coin magazines, documentaries, and online forums where collectors share their finds and theories. Some experts speculate that only a few hundred of these premium error coins exist, making them more elusive than many realize. Adding to its mystery are the urban legends surrounding its value, stories of people unknowingly using these rare pennies in vending machines or kids trading them at school, completely unaware of the goldmine in their hands. These anecdotes only add to the mystique and drive others to check their change jars, hoping to strike it rich with one little coin. The role of social media cannot be underestimated either. Viral posts and YouTube videos showcasing high-value sales have created a modern gold rush among hobbyists, antique hunters, and everyday people. Search interest in the 1984 D penny has skyrocketed in recent years, and collectors report difficulty finding quality specimens as more people hold onto them in hopes of future appreciation. Dealers now offer thousands just for a chance to examine a potentially rare variant, and coin shows frequently feature discussions or displays centered around this mysterious penny. But what really cements its place in history is the way it symbolizes a moment of transition in U.S. minting, when the nation moved from traditional copper to cheaper materials, inadvertently creating a new class of valuable errors. Each coin becomes a frozen artifact from that era, a piece of metal that holds both monetary and historical weight. And while not every 1984 D penny is worth thousands, even common ones in pristine condition are seeing rising values as demand outpaces supply. So next time you handle your spare change, take a closer look at that 1984 D penny. You might be holding more than just 1 cent. You might be holding a piece of American history, a collector's dream, and a coin that could change your life. Before you toss it into a tip jar or let it gather dust, remember the astonishing stories behind these coins and the fortunes they've brought to the lucky few who recognized their worth in time. Who knows? You could be next. If you found this story fascinating and want to learn about more hidden treasures like the 1984 D penny, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to our channel, and hit the bell icon so you never miss the latest updates on the most valuable coins in history. Next. Today, we unravel the astonishing tale behind the 1975 D 1-cent coin, a seemingly humble Lincoln penny minted in Denver that has shocked numismatists and collectors by being valued at an unbelievable $37,384, not because it contains any precious metal or rare alloy, but due to the fascinating and complex array of mint errors, die imperfections, historical anomalies, and collector market dynamics that have elevated it into the realm of numismatic legend. And if you're someone who's ever glanced at a penny and tossed it aside thinking it was worthless, this video is going to open your eyes to the hidden potential lying in the coppery glint of what most people overlook, because this story begins not in wealth, but in error, specifically, the kinds of minting errors that occur when machinery slips, dies deteriorate, or blanks are misfed during the fast-paced coin production process at the United States Mint, where in 1975 at the Denver facility, millions of Lincoln cents were churned out, but only a few emerged with anomalies so distinct that decades later they would be singled out as treasures, and in the case of this particularly rare 1975 D penny, experts agree that its primary value comes from a compound of errors starting with the dramatic off-center strike where the design is visibly shifted, cutting off parts of Lincoln's profile and the inscription such as, "In God We Trust," or "Liberty," which may appear partially missing or oddly stretched, while the date itself may be slightly distorted due to misalignment. And yet it's not just the off-center strike that contributes to its rarity, it's the additional layered mistakes that took place during the minting process, including a double die obverse that causes a noticeable doubling in the text, most prominently on the date, 1975, where under magnification, collectors can observe a ghostly echo of the numbers, as if stamped twice by an unsteady hand, and this form of doubling, particularly on Lincoln cents, is known to drive collector interest sky high, especially when it occurs in tandem with other errors, and what makes this penny even more extraordinary is the presence of die cracks that formed as a result of prolonged use of the minting dies, resulting in thin raised lines that run unpredictably across the coin's surface, often mistaken for scratches by the untrained eye, but in fact they are part of the coin's unique minting fingerprint. And then there's the coin's coloration, due to improper alloy mixing or exposure to the wrong environmental conditions within the mint. This particular specimen may exhibit unusual toning or surface bubbles caused by a lamination error where a portion of the metal flaked or split during striking, further increasing its uniqueness and numismatic appeal. And when one combines all these features, off-center strike, doubled die, die cracks, and lamination errors, it creates a perfect storm of rarity that cannot be replicated, making this 1975 D cent one of the most desirable error coins in modern American history. And it's important to understand that not all error coins are valuable, but when several rare traits are stacked together, especially when authenticated and graded by professional services such as PCGS or NGC, the market reacts fiercely, with bids from collectors who specialize in Lincoln cents, error coins, or both, sometimes engaging in competitive auctions that push the value of such coins far beyond face value, and in this case, documented sales and appraisals have pegged this specific 1975 D penny with the combined set of errors at over $37,000, a staggering amount for a coin that began life as one of over 4.5 billion minted that year. And what truly captivates collectors about coins like this is not just the errors themselves but the story they tell. How a routine day at the Denver Mint yielded something so imperfect it became perfect in the eyes of history, and it makes you wonder how many others may still be floating out there, forgotten in old drawers, coin jars, and penny rolls just waiting for someone with a keen eye and a passion for detail to recognize their true worth. And speaking of value, let's explore what pushes this particular coin's price so high beyond the errors themselves. First, scarcity plays a massive role, as only a few examples of this coin with the exact same combination of faults have ever surfaced, and none with identical placement or degree of distortion, meaning each known specimen holds a singular place in the market. And in numismatics, uniqueness equals desirability, especially when supported by authentication and condition. and condition is everything. A coin like this found in uncirculated or mint state condition with crisp detail, full luster, and minimal wear is far more valuable than a heavily circulated counterpart, and this is where grading comes into play, because a coin graded MS65 or higher with such dramatic errors will always command top dollar. And when news of such a specimen makes its way to auction houses like Heritage Auctions or Stack's Bowers, the buzz it creates among elite collectors can result in shocking hammer prices, and beyond individual buyers, there's also institutional interest from museums, investment portfolios, and numismatic educational organizations who seek such rarities not just for ownership but for research and exhibition. And let's not forget the historical significance of the year 1975 in the context of U.S. coinage. This was a pre-bicentennial year, a time when coin designs were under scrutiny, and collectors were already paying closer attention to the minting processes, giving coins from this era a slight edge in collector sentiment. And when such a coin is traced back through provenance, with paperwork, auction history, or original mint packaging, its legitimacy and lore only grow stronger, making it more than just a copper token but a storied artifact. And in discussing possibilities that could make this coin even more valuable, one could imagine scenarios where it appears as part of a transitional error, say if a 1975 D penny were struck on a planchet meant for a dime or foreign coin, which has happened in other years and caused similar surges in value, or if it bore signs of experimental alloys or planchet anomalies not intended for circulation, or even if it contained clash marks from a die collision without a planchet in place, resulting in ghostly impressions from the reverse on the obverse or vice versa, which are highly sought after for their visual drama and rarity. And while none of these are confirmed on this specific coin, they represent the types of errors that elevate a coin from interesting to iconic. And in the case of this 1975 D1 cent, it seems that fate, machinery, and metallurgy all conspired to produce a penny that defies expectations. And while many coins with errors end up in circulation unnoticed, the few that are caught and preserved become instant celebrities in the coin collecting world, commanding attention on social media, YouTube, Reddit threads, and numismatic blogs where experts debate die varieties and post close-up photos for comparison, further increasing the visibility and market hunger for similar specimens. And for those who dream of finding such a treasure themselves, the lesson here is clear: pay attention to the smallest details, because a faint doubling in the date, a crack that looks like a scratch, or a slight shift in alignment can mean the difference between 1 cent and tens of thousands of dollars. And it all begins with awareness, education, and a little bit of luck. And for every viewer tuning in today, maybe your next coin roll hunt or trip to the coin jar will turn up something special, a piece of minting history hiding in plain sight. And if you do find something unusual, have it authenticated and graded, because as this 1975 D penny proves, even the smallest coin can carry a story and a value far beyond what it was ever meant to represent. So keep your eyes sharp, your curiosity alive, and your pennies close, because the next big discovery could be just one coin away. And if you enjoyed this deep dive into one of the most valuable and intriguing error coins ever discovered, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel for more incredible stories from the world of rare coins, and turn on notifications so you never miss a chance to uncover treasure in your own change. Until next time, keep collecting, keep exploring, and remember, even a penny can be priceless. Last. Today we're unlocking the fascinating and unbelievable story behind a tiny piece of metal that's been making big waves in the numismatic community, the 2019 D1 cent coin, a modern marvel minted in Denver that, due to a series of unexpected errors and die anomalies, has been sold and appraised at prices as high as $2,142, a staggering sum for what most people would assume is just a regular penny worth only a cent. But as you're about to discover, this specific penny is anything but ordinary. And the deeper you look into the details, the more fascinating it becomes, because what seems like an unassuming little copper-plated zinc disc actually holds within it a series of rare imperfections, production missteps, and manufacturing quirks that have elevated its value to that of a collector's dream, starting with the unique conditions surrounding its minting, as the 2019 D. Lincoln cent was part of the standard annual production but became notorious among collectors shortly after release for a variety of significant and unusual mint errors, ranging from double dies, off-center strikes, die cracks, cuds, and even plating issues that all collectively contribute to a surge in value for those specific coins bearing such traits, with one of the most sought-after anomalies being the double-ear Lincoln variety, in which President Lincoln's earlobe appears to be duplicated or shadowed due to a die misalignment during striking, an error that immediately caught the attention of experienced collectors and grading companies alike. who noted the difficulty in detecting this anomaly with the naked eye but praised the clarity and precision when viewed under magnification. And this particular type of doubling is subtle but telling, indicating that the hub and die were not properly synced during one of the multiple strikes used to create the coin's image, and since not all 2019 D pennies exhibit this doubling, finding one can be both a challenge and a reward, increasing demand and decreasing supply, which naturally causes prices to climb. But that's only one part of the story, because additional examples of 2019 D cents have been found with off-center strikes, where the design is not perfectly aligned within the coin's borders, producing what appears to be a lopsided or partial image that often results in part of the rim or lettering being completely absent, which not only makes the coin visually intriguing but also drastically increases its value to collectors who prize such errors for their rarity and aesthetic oddity. And beyond these visual flaws, die breaks and cracks are frequently reported in 2019 D cents, particularly those forming large die chips or cuds near the edges of the coin, caused when part of the die actually breaks off during the minting process and leaves a raised blob or missing detail on the coin itself, a phenomenon that happens in extremely small quantities before the die is replaced, thereby making these error coins incredibly limited in number, especially when the die chip occurs near key design features such as Lincoln's face or the memorial shield on the reverse, with larger cuds often commanding hundreds of dollars even on their own due to their visibility and collectability. And even further adding to the mystique of the 2019 D penny is the presence of plating blisters and bubbles, imperfections that occur when the copper plating doesn't properly adhere to the zinc core during the minting process, forming visible bumps and distortions on the surface of the coin, which, while initially dismissed as minor quality control issues, have gained popularity among collectors for their uniqueness and connection to the specific weaknesses in the mint's manufacturing pipeline that year, with some speculating that rushed production schedules and aging equipment contributed to the increased number of flawed coins slipping through inspection, creating a perfect storm for modern-day error collectors who have since flooded online forums, social media groups, and auction houses in search of the most dramatic and well-preserved examples. And the 2019 D cent stands out particularly because it was issued during a time of increased scrutiny of modern coinage, with collectors increasingly turning their attention from vintage and classic coins to more recent issues, hoping to find affordable entry points into error collecting that could yield huge returns later as rarity and awareness increase. And indeed, professional grading services like PCGS and NGC have seen a marked increase in submissions of 2019 D cents with suspected errors, validating many as genuine mint mistakes and awarding high grades like MS66 or MS67 to uncirculated examples, which combined with errors can send their value soaring, as condition plays a vital role in the coin's appeal and ultimate price point. And even ungraded but high-quality error coins have fetched incredible prices on platforms like eBay, Heritage auctions, and private sales, where motivated collectors are willing to pay premiums to secure specific varieties for their curated collections, especially since error coins are by nature unpredictable and often irreplaceable, making each one a unique item rather than a mass-produced clone. And as word of these valuable 2019 D cents has spread across YouTube, TikTok, Reddit, and numismatic blogs, a new wave of casual treasure hunters and coin roll searchers have begun examining their change with renewed excitement, many sharing stories of finding these valuable pennies in coin jars, grocery store receipts, or bank rolls, proving that these modern errors are still out there waiting to be discovered by keen-eyed individuals who know what to look for. And as demand continues to rise and supply diminishes due to hoarding, grading, and private collections, the value of these error coins is expected to keep climbing, with analysts predicting that some of the finest examples may eventually exceed their current top-end price of $2,142 as long-term investment pieces. And beyond financial gain, the 2019 D cent has earned a place in modern coin lore, not just as a mistake, but as a symbol of how even in a highly automated and technologically advanced minting process, human oversight, equipment fatigue, and the tiniest deviation can lead to a collectible gem. And its story serves as a reminder that in the world of numismatics, value isn't just determined by age or metal content, but by the story, the rarity, and the collector demand behind each individual coin. And so the next time you come across a penny, don't just assume it's worthless, take a moment to look closer, check the date, the mint mark, the fine details of Lincoln's profile and the reverse shield, the alignment, the color, and any small irregularities, because hidden among millions of common sense might be a $2,142 error coin just waiting to be discovered by someone who took the time to notice what others overlooked. And that's what makes the 2019 D 1 cent coin not only a fascinating chapter in coin collecting but a wake-up call for treasure hunters everywhere, reminding us all that sometimes the greatest value comes in the smallest and most unexpected packages, and that opportunities for discovery and reward are always out there, circulating right under our noses in pockets, jars, drawers, and registers. So if you found this story fascinating and want to learn more about hidden gems, valuable coins, and modern mint mysteries, make sure you like this video, subscribe to our channel, and hit that bell icon so you never miss an update on the next rare coin that could be hiding in your very own hands.